Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with the Critters, where we live stream every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. My name's Laura Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. For those that may be new, we teach people all over the world how to train and enrich animals under your care. And we do that through our live streaming services, where you can find on our website, theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. You can also find upcoming events, which I have several coming up. And you can also email me at any time at Lara, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. Let's see. Yep, there's our memberships, and you can contact me. So I want to go ahead and get started because I've got, as usual, too much to show in the short amount of time. And this is getting creative with animal enrichment. Good morning. So I've got a couple different species of animals that I want to show you, and I want to show you the enrichment we designed. We design enrichment to empower the animal primarily. And there's many different forms of enrichment. That's how I got into the field of training using applied behavior analysis and positive reinforcement. And I also design enrichment to modify behavior, change behavior issues. I design enrichment to prevent behavior issues, being proactive. I've got some fun ones to show you today. We're going to show you enrichment with fish, dog, owl, lemurs, parrots, and I forgot to include the one that we implemented yesterday. So, but there'll be more. So I'm going to try something new today, and I sure hope it works. If not, this is going to be a very boring live stream. But with that being said, I do believe I wanted to make an announcement, and I think it's right there. It is. Coffee with the Critters is now available in podcast. Currently, you can find it on Spotify, and we're getting ready to include that in Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. So we're slowly uploading all of our Coffee with the Critters to podcasts. So for those of you that listen to podcasts, and that is me, I've been a huge podcast listener for years. You can now find Coffee with the Critters on Spotify and soon to be more areas. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So if you don't know what enrichment is, let me know. I will help you. But that's not the topic of today's episode. What I want to show you today is we have a behavior concern with Stan, our parrot cichlid fish. We found out he is a she, but I'm still calling him a he, and he is laying eggs. So we have bumped up the level of enrichment to help redirect this behavior of consistent egg laying. And let's see, is it going to play? Yes. Yes. Since 4:15 this morning working on this. It better play. So you'll see a couple different forms of enrichment we put in his tank. And there at the bottom is a plastic jar, and we drilled holes in a variety of places around it. And the reason we did that is it lets the air out. What you're not seeing behind, because it's behind that rock, is in that jar is a golf ball, wiffle ball that includes krill and soldier fly larvae, and you can see him clearly engaging. Let me play that again. There he is, trying to get to that ball that is in that jar to eat his dinner. Because if he's eating, he's not laying eggs. Because I can tell you for a fact, when he lays eggs, he won't eat. So, and then there's another piece of enrichment above that, but let's see, let me hide this. And it's working. Here's another piece of enrichment we put in. Now, he did not go after this one. It is sitting in my kitchen sink right now to modify. But what we did was we took this big acrylic ball, and I know because he didn't interact with this, and a lot of times I have to try it to see what works, to see what doesn't work, modify, reintroduce it again. So you can see the krill hanging out of the golf ball, wiffle ball inside of the larger acrylic ball. And we hung it by a piece of poly rope. I think this scared him. And because I train him and I put my hands in his tank and train him, he does follow my hands when I'm introducing him to a new piece of enrichment, and I'll engage with him and show him where to begin with the enrichment. And it does work. He does follow it. So I pulled that out, and I've got different ideas of what I want to do to reintroduce that to him, which will hopefully happen today. So here's another one, and this happened the other day. Okay. We have a rather large aviary we just built, and on that aviary it's fall. Well, it's starting to be winter. On that aviary, the leaves are collecting. We got to get the leaves off of there before the snow hits because it'll weigh down the aviary. I know I've built several aviaries, so I know what will happen if I don't get those off. So I had to go out and purchase a very high powered, no, it's not very high powered. It's decent powered snow or leaf blower. Watch this. I was experimenting. Let's see. Here's Snow, our deaf and blind border collie, and watch what she does when I blow the leaf blower on her. Be careful not to blow it in her face. She freaking loved it. She loved it. And I was like, what? I mean, watch this again. And I know Sylvia's on here. She's a professional dog trainer. Tell me if you see any concerns, Sylvia, and tell me if you do not see this as an excited dog, eager to interact. And she's shedding, so this was great. So I was like, why is she so engaged with this? And I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I taught her how to bathe as a puppy, and I used to use the blow dryer on her. And to introduce her to the blow dryer, I made a game out of it with her. So she can't see and she can't hear me. So I would go like this, and she saw it as when I was blow drying her, she saw it as playtime. So while I was doing this, I noticed that in applied behavior analysis is constantly experimenting with your environment, that she also enjoyed when I was walking to the other side of the yard blowing the leaves, I created a pile. She was enjoying jumping in those leaves. Now, what I could do is drop some food treats in those leaves and have her forage through the leaves by increasing complexity. That's next, but not in this live stream. So the next one I have is of a Eurasian eagle owl. We have trained a couple of Eurasian eagle owls. Those that know me know that when people contact me about, hey, we got an owl, you want to train it? I'm like, no, I really don't. And anybody who has trained raptors before knows exactly what I'm talking about. So this is okay. Where did my video go? I know it's showing up there. There we go. Okay, let's hit play. Now keep in mind, nocturnal, fabulous sense of hearing. Okay, these boxes were genius. These were made by one of my volunteers. The owl is very engaged. If anybody knows owls, they are curious, especially when they're young. Otherwise, as they grow up, they just kill everything. They're fabulous hunters. So there is food in those boxes. And is that all I played? because this video is 4 minutes long, but you think they have a fabulous sense of hearing when she's sticking her head in that box. It's darker, so she'll be able to see. That box has got to echo. Now, this seems very simple, but if you know owls, yeah, um, match the task. Um, so we do create enrichment for a lot of raptors, and it's not necessary. You just gotta get creative, especially with owls. Um, I have so much more I can show you with enrichment with raptors. And there's Rico in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear him. So here's another one. And think about how some of this enrichment can be how you can incorporate for different species. Here's one we created for the lemurs, the ring-tailed lemurs. I took ice cube trays and I was like, we got to get these guys engaged and we got to get them really moving around their environment. They know how they can jump, they can climb, they can hang upside down. So we filled each ice cube tray with banana baby food and a string. And this was just to start, just to experiment, because I didn't even know if this was going to work. And then we froze it. So then when we plucked those ice cube trays, the banana baby food ice cube out of the trays and hung it from a string. Now, I would not suggest doing this because hanging strings like this or ropes can be very dangerous to many species of animals. And we don't usually do this, but I was just experimenting. I was standing right next to them. So I hung it from the top of their enclosure, and in the center where they couldn't really jump to it and they couldn't really climb to it, but they had to hang upside down to get it. So I'm increasing choice control and complexity within the environment. So I was like, how can we make this safer for these lemurs? So I stuck it in a baffle cage and then hung that and took the string completely off. And here's Dill and Pickles interacting with this and trying to figure out how to get it. I'm going to play this. Oops. I'm going to play this video, and I'm creating complexity by how they get to it. And it was cool watching this because, sorry for the lag time. I got to find the video again. Watch how they're like climbing the top to get to it. And how they're hanging, and watch how long they're hanging. They seem like they can only hang there for so long, so that increases complexity, and it increases duration since it's frozen as well. You see the other lemur jump to the back to take a rest, and he comes right back. So increasing duration and interaction. So you'll see how like hanging from their fingers and toes, they have to move consistently. And I don't want to make it easy for them, because if they're doing this, they're staying mentally and physically engaged and not doing other things we don't want them to do. So let's see what else we got here for you. Like I said, I forgot to post the one that we just did yesterday. I was like, that's brilliant. So like I said, the reason I train, and I train all species of animals, I like to focus on the exotics, is for numerous things, primarily because studies have shown if you're actually using positive reinforcement training, it's the animal's preferred form of enrichment. And this is me training. We were talking the other day in one of my memberships, the Parrot Project, that we were having this discussion, and I said, when a bird gets out of the enclosure, accidentally gets out of the enclosure, flies off, one of the biggest mistakes people make is standing direct as close as you can to that bird underneath the tree and calling it down. Because one of the hardest things for a bird to do is fly straight down or fly at that steep incline. So I have trained Rico for this because Rico's a fabulous flyer. So I always I'm just being proactive in case an accident happens. So in the parrot project the other day, we started this steep incline decline training, and we're even talking about birds that don't fly very well. You can really start to practice with that. I have. I like birds. Me, if a bird can fly, I like keeping them flying because they're high energy animals and we got to expend that energy. So, with that being said, don't forget, Dr. Jason Crean and I have started the podcast, the Enrichment Science podcast. It's a weekly podcast. And it is included at no charge in the Parrot Project and Team Thrive. And in the Parrot Project, these are annual subscriptions, so that comes down to a little over $3 a week to be in the Parrot Project. We also where we talk about enrichment, training, monthly Q&As. I also have Jason and I will be giving this in Enriching Avian Welfare Through Foraging workshop in Orlando on December, I believe it's the 6th. And yes, was it? Oh, I've got this coming up on Tuesday night with IWRC, the International Wildlife Rehabilitators Council Conference. It's an online. They have a coffee and tea every month. I am their guest speaker this Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern on where to begin training ambassador animals. And we also talk about training wildlife ambassadors in our advanced level membership. And I wanted to mention too, don't forget, next Sunday, we will not be having a coffee with critters. We are having a cocktail with the critters on Saturday night, November 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's a group live stream where you can see me, I can see you, and we pour a cocktail and we just start talking. And they're a lot of fun. You have to um email me for the link. If you got our newsletter the other day, the link on there to get a hold of me is in there. Iris, I know you said, Iris, I did get your message the other day that you were having trouble registering for that International Wildlife Rehabilitators Conference. Let me look into that and get back to you. With that being said, here's a list of numerous other services we have here at the Animal Behavior Center. And that's a wrap. I will see you guys next Saturday night. We're having cocktails with the critters, just so we can relax and have fun right before the Thanksgiving holiday. If at any time anybody ever needs to get in touch with me, this is one of the fastest ways to get in touch with me. Email me at Lara, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. All right. Take care, everybody. I will see you next Saturday night.